Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Camerascore, where we discuss all things media. Today we're talking about Primate, or maybe Chimpanzee, or maybe, well, he's guess he's not monkey, you don't gotta tell. Chimpanzee. But I guess Primate, they wanted to do the catchy sounding title for this film. Now, is it good? No. This is really gonna be short because I didn't have high expectations going into it, and it kind of met my expectations, way down at the bottom where they are. Let's first start with the positives, though.
In the pool! Ben can't swim!
Lucy, bad. Bad. Bad.
Give me the phone. Try recent calls.
To begin, the primate, the chimp, looks really, really good. I looked at some of the behind the scenes, and it turns out that they used an actual human being in the costume and then filled it in with CG outside of that. Really, really smart. A lot of the gore and the visuals look really nice. The lighting is good. Horror movies sometimes don't have the greatest of lighting, but this one really takes it there. You see a lot, and I mean a lot. Sometimes almost too much to a point where you feel bad for some of these people even though they're all pretty foolish. But I guess they're teenage, so maybe that's the horror movie trope explanation they want to use. That being said, there are a lot of really smart moments that coincide with these teenagers, wanting to get the keys, wanting to escape, wanting to get away from the chimp in ways that make sense. If he can't swim, then I'm going to hop in the pool. Things like that make a lot of sense throughout the film. There are a lot of dumb moments, like I said, but for the most part, they're young kids. We can give them a little bit of leeway, although if it was me, I wouldn't be in that situation like that. I will say the sign language inclusion is really nice in this. It makes sense that apes in general, they are learning sign language or have the ability slash capacity to learn sign language. And so there being someone who is deaf also comes in really cool at certain points in this film because they can kind of play with the idea that without the communication that the father goes through, he can't really tell what's happening with his daughters. And it makes it a little difficult to essentially suss out where the ape is hiding or where they're going or what they're doing. It's tough to find a lot of positives beyond the film looks nice, has interesting gore, and some of the moments were nice. I will say it is cool that the ape is intelligent for the most part, how he figures out how to open the car using the keys or how doors open or using the tablet to communicate can be scary at times. But with that intelligence or feigned intelligence comes most of the negatives.
Him? Ben? There's something wrong with Ben.
So, where to begin? I mean, throughout this film, there are just so many things. Honestly, the whole entire romance arcs, if you want to call them that, are just unnecessary. One friend is cheating on another, or one friend wants one but never gets them. The way that these characters die so quickly, or rather, not quickly, just the timing of it, doesn't allow any of these arcs to be resolved. Another thing is with those relationship arcs, beyond that, the arcs of all the characters, non-existent. It's just forget the relationship. Let's talk about who you are as a person, what you do, your actions, and the way you feel. A lot of these characters are fleshed out. I wouldn't even say surface level. What's above surface level? Stratosphere level or something. You get just a little bit about them, a little bit of their friendship, a tiny bit from maybe 15 minutes of them being together, and the rest just throws you into the rest of the adventure. Now, I do admire that they wanted to get started quickly, but at some level, we have to either feel bad for or dislike these characters. And I don't think they give you enough to skew things in either direction. There's jealousy, there's a little bit of pettiness between friends, but it's not enough for me to be like, yeah, she should be ripped apart by a chimpanzee. That's a little insane. Another thing is the intelligence. They explain that this chimp has been bitten by a rabies infested mongoose. And from then on, these characters make some of the most foolish decisions I've ever seen. These things are very strong. And we've shown that he can be intelligent. He speaks using a tablet, he knows sign language. Why would you let him become rabies infected and just be like, okay, yeah, I gotta go. I'll have the doctor come over. It's fine. What? And then let's go more into the rabies arc. Say he did get rabies. Okay. He would be extremely aggressive, which makes sense, and prone to maybe attacking people that he liked. Yeah, whatever. But in this case, why is he still so intelligent? Why is he still able to mastermind, plan, and calculate and set traps for these human beings while rabies infected? It's like they just turned him into the Joker somehow after this one rabies bite. And I get it, he's supposed to be aggressive. He might fight and bite and kill people that he loved before, but he wouldn't just flip personas like he had a villain arc. He didn't fall in a vat of acid like Joker. It's very weird because he is extremely intelligent throughout. He's planning things. He's opening doors. He's setting traps by making you believe he's gone and then going to different sides of things. But how is he doing that while rabies infected? I don't get it. Then on top of that, the father. I understand that they talk about his communication and how he's deaf and how he loved his wife, and that's why he won't get rid of the chimpanzee. The chimpanzee is part of the family. But knowing how intelligent the chimp is and how strong it is with your daughter and a bunch of other teenage or slightly above teenage kids, why would you just hear about him getting bitten and then just be like, ah, well, we'll sort it out? They say, oh, you've been messing with the neighbors again. But anytime an animal gets bitten, and if you're an animal owner, you know this, it's a serious thing because you want to be certain that everything is fine. You take them to the vet immediately. You don't just send the doctor and be like, oh, okay, it's all right. I understand they're a little bit remote, but damn, bro. If a cat gets bitten, you want to see because there's no cure for rabies. You have to put them down. I just don't understand his nonchalance about it. And then they throw in this arc where he's essentially a famous book writer, and that's how they get this house on the coast of Hawaii. That's actually really beautiful. I'm a little jealous. But what comes first, your daughters or this book deal, right? He eventually makes the right choice, but the way he does it is so foolish. Why not tell this person you're trying to make the deal with, hey, my daughter's in trouble. I have to go. It's not like, I mean, if you're working with someone that doesn't understand that, you don't want to work with them anyway. What does it matter? I simply don't understand that arc to it, that aspect. And then on top of that, oh my goodness, the way that they try and challenge this extremely strong chimpanzee at multiple times and occurrences is just foolish. I know we're supposed to hate the guy because he has two girls fawning over him or whatever, but at the same time, why would he do something so stupid and then die in that way? I'm not going to spoil it. I really doubt you'll watch this film. You probably shouldn't. But the way in which he dies is just so foolhardy that essentially what he does is like trying to drown a fish. You literally entered its type of environment and tried to kill it in a way that would most likely work on you, not it. They're meant to climb. Why would you ever think that would work? And there's just multiple moments like that where, she escaped, she got the keys, but did she though? And I'm just like, but who's that stupid? Again, I know we love to treat teenagers and maybe 18, 19-year-olds like they're the dumbest things on the planet. But come on, man. I wasn't, I was that age not too long ago, and I promise I would have not acted that way. It's just foolish throughout. And then they include some more people, some visitors, some boys they met on the plane. They invite them over. And it's just like, well, no one would act in that manner either. Say someone invites you over to their crib and you pull up, all the lights are out, dark, no one's in there. You're just gonna open the door, go in their fridge and get a beer. I'm just like, who are these people, these personas you're trying to portray? It almost feels like Euphoria, where you have all these personalities in one high school. I'm not saying Euphoria is unrealistic, but to have that many of that type of student in one place is crazy. Just damn right illogical. And I feel like that's this whole film. It's just a bunch of people that don't know what in the world is going on and are just trying things. Some smart, some dumb, but enough dumb to be like, well, what is this film? And then beyond all this, the film is just cliche, predictable. I knew who was going to live and who was going to die. I knew what he was going to do, and I know the arcs that were going to happen. It's just the only thing that makes this different is the chimpanzee. All right, whatever. But I feel like Nope, if you remember, The chimpanzee scene in that was way better than this, and it was like 5 minutes. I'd rather watch that 50 times than watch this whole film again. But hey, I'm just here for the camera score. And for this mediocre film, it's gonna be a 5.
Bad.
Maybe 6 out of 10, but I'm really leaning towards a 5. It does enough well that it's not the worst watch ever. But this is like a I'm barely paying attention and I'm watching this on Netflix type film. Go see it if you want to, but I will not be watching it again. But hey, maybe you love this and this is the greatest horror film of our generation. Let me know in the comments, like and subscribe to see what else I post.